Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Nectar of Devotion. We are on chapter 1. We were reading yesterday that how the modern scientists are also able to do certain activities which the yogis can do after like thousands of years of yogic practice. So then reading on, of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes that the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For instance, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called lagima. So, what is this lagima? That the yogi, he can travel, go to the sun planet by the help of the sunshine. But scientists have not yet been able to do it. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Though the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships, they undergo many difficulties, whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti or acquisition. So the modern scientists, they made a spaceship by which to enter the moon, but it takes a lot of energy, effort, time, money. It's not so feasible. But of course, a yogi, he can easily do it. He just extends his hand and he can touch the moon. With this Prapti Siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place. And if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is Prapti Siddhi. So these siddhis, Prabhupada is saying, of course, the modern scientists have not been able to get that, oh, you just put your hand anywhere and you can pick up anything from even from another planet. Imagine you extend your hand to Indralok and pick up a parijat flower or something. I don't know. But the yogis, they can do that. They can put their hand out anywhere, pick up anything. Would have been very helpful in COVID. But yeah, I mean, during the lockdowns. But anyway, so this is one of the siddhi that the mystic yogis have. One we heard is Lagima, that they can go to the sun planet. Another is Prapti Siddhi, they can just extend their hand and get anything from anywhere. Modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons with which they can destroy an insignificant part of this planet. But by the yoga siddhi known as Ishita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. So another yogic siddhi that the yogis get is called Ishita. Ishta. This is that the yogi, he can create or destroy a planet. We can do it. We have a lot of atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, all these gadgets which to do it, but we cannot create a planet. We have certainly found ways to destroy the planet, but not to create one. Whereas the yogi, he can also create one. And he's not using any gadgets. The yogi, just by his will, just by wanting to do it, he does it. We heard how Kardama Muni, by his will, he created a flying city with palaces, with lakes, and thousands of maidservants. Yeah, so a yogi can do it simply at his will. Another perfection is called Vashita, and by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism that is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vashita mystic power comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them, takes their money, and then goes away. So this is Vashita, that the yogi, he can control the mind of the people. He hypnotizes them so much, they get so mesmerized by him that they're willing to do anything he says. And in the end, sometimes he just cheats them and goes away, takes their money and goes away. So we can see with these magic powers, a person can really misuse them, really can misuse, can get carried away. If one has these kind of powers, one can get carried away by their desires. There's another mystic perfection which is known as prakamya, magic. By this prakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities. So, prakamya, magic, he can do some magical activities. Prabhupada is giving the example. He puts the water in his eye, then he again takes it out from within his eye. We have seen, certain people have certain kind of magic powers. So this is one of the yoga siddhis. Or someone, we see that somebody out of air, they just do some hand action. They have something in the hand. They can go far away, extend their hand and pick out something from some far away. And so this is yoga siddhis. The highest perfection of mystic power is called kama vasayita. This is also magic. But whereas the prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, kama vas kama vasayita permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfections. So, kama vasayita, that is, to do something wonderful which goes against the material nature, to do something which is beyond, like contradicting material nature, in other words, to do the impossible. So some of the yogis have this kind of power, and it gives a sense of great power, great achievement to the yogi. It can give great amount of temporary happiness to such yogi. But here the point to understand is the happiness will be temporary. Temporary. Foolishly, people are enamored of the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. These people do not know that any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. Due to ignorance, they do not know that real life is eternal. So we don't understand. We are not the body, we are souls. And our life, it's not that after we give up this body, that's the end. No, we continue in another body. It could be a material body or it could be a spiritual body. But we continue to live. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due only to darkest ignorance that people become enamored of the glimmering advancement of material comforts. We think as long as my body is comfortable, that's what it is. There's nothing more to life. But no, we are not able to understand that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. I need to re-establish my relationship with Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said that the advancement of material knowledge renders a person more foolish because it causes one to forget his real identity by its glimmer. We are so enamored by this material nature. We are so enamored by all the advancement of material civilization. We can't live without it. Imagine without a phone or a laptop, we'll say, how can you live without these things? These become our necessity. And then these things can cause us to forget our real identity as spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. This is doom for him because this human form of life is meant for getting out of material contamination. By the advancement of material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. They have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe. So, the entire world, we are moving towards this material advancement. We can do it, I can do it, leaving God behind. And in this way, we can see because we have turned away from God, we are no more a God conscious society. That's what's creating so many wars, so much unrest, so many, uh, what do you say, so much disturbances in society. And we are becoming more and more entangled in this material world. And that's the reason Lord Chaitanya came to give us the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. He said he knew we have no qualification in this age. So he gave us the strongest medicine, that is. And that is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. In the Hari Bhakti Sudaya, it is stated that Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee of the Lord, prayed to Nrsimhadev, the half lion, half man incarnation as follows. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. So this is Prahlad Maharaj's prayer to Lord Nishingadev. This is recorded in Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling to Lord Nishingadev to simply give him stronger and stronger um, devotion to Krishna. Just make him more and more Krishna conscious. Just engage him in devotional service more and more. He's saying because the happiness that he's experiencing, the happiness that one experiences in Krishna consciousness and engaging in devotional service, that happiness is beyond the happiness that one gets out of being religious or economic development, sense gratification, and even liberation. So all these happinesses, there is happiness when we follow the ordinary rituals, when we get economic development, when we are engaging in sense gratification and liberation. So all these happiness are there. But all this is included when we become Krishna conscious. All this these grades of happiness is already included in the happiness of Krishna consciousness. And even much more, a pure devotee experiences a transcendental bliss, which is unexplainable. It is beyond the happiness of this material world. And so this is what Prahlad Maharaj is praying for. It's a beautiful prayer. We'll stop here for today. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.